Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mercy Art. As usual, it's a very beautiful day with very beautiful awesome weather. Well, it is summer, and as usual, as I've highlighted in the previous videos, during this time each and every person tries their best to be out and about. As you can see, there's so many buses out there trying to take people around. Like, as you can see, the bus right opposite is a hop on hop off kind of a bus. It's actually very common within Stockholm, in which you can just hop in, take a tour around Stockholm in case you're visiting for the first time, in case you're just trying to pass time. I mean, it's quite common with it. Now, in my previous videos, I captured this area. It's right at the Urban Museum. You can see the brown building opposite. Unfortunately, the tram is covering. It is the area that has the Urban Museum. It's quite different because last time I was here, it was all covered in snow. Everything was gray and white. You could not really see the difference. You could not see the beauty of it. You could not see the nature part of it because basically everything was white. But now today, it is a good day, very bright indeed. The temperatures are quite warm. Today is actually 21 degrees and I can see that's really, really hot. It's quite hot, and I think compared to the previous times we used to experience during winter, I can say it's just a beautiful day with very awesome mood around. Now, basically, I am at the harbor. This harbor is a bit special. Reason being, it is very common and it's very famous for tourists who are coming into Sweden. So people who are coming by boats, for example, coming from Norway, Estonia, Latvia, you can basically use this harbor. So it is common, and right there's something that looks like a gazebo. It's actually a bar. It's a bar and restaurant, and it's quite common also here in Stockholm to find different boats that have been converted to be different restaurants. So basically you go in just like any other normal restaurant, but the only difference is you're taken around within Stockholm or even in the outskirts of Stockholm in some islands right in there. I've not gotten a chance to visit different islands in Stockholm, but it's something that is on my bucket list. Now, moving forward, just walking around, basically trying to establish different places I can visit. This place is quite common for the visitors. If you've been to Sweden, you will be told that. Now, there's something special about this. Right now, I am at the Saga Story. This building right here is called the Åhlens building. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, but basically, in case you are in the CBD, that is within the Stockholm center, in case you're getting lost, get hold, or rather just try and remember that building. It will help you remember the direction you're supposed to go to. It's almost equivalent to one famous building in Nairobi CBD known as the Archives. In case you're getting lost, people tell you, look for Archives, you'll find your way. So the same thing in Stockholm, that's applicable. I don't know about you, just mention on the comment section, is there any particular landmark in your country or in your city that helps you to find your way around, especially if you're lost? I'm sure it is. In Nairobi, we have Archives. Now, right here in Stockholm, we have the Åhlens, and right where we are, and I think you can see the people crossing, it is the Queen's Avenue or Queen Street. I think it's famously known as the Drottninggatan Street. I think in the last video I had captured it. So it's quite known also. These are among the first avenues, or rather first major streets in Stockholm that I had to remember, because coming into a new country as a grown-up has its own challenges, Right there is the fountain, and there's a whole huge landmark. It is right at the CBD center in Stockholm, known as the T-Centralen. So right here, that particular tower is usually lit up, especially at night, and it changes different colors, especially the luminous color. It can be the luminous green, purple, yellow, whichever color. And right below there is a beautiful fountain. So that's also another landmark. In case you're in Stockholm, you can always remember. And I'm just trying to head towards the downside direction. I don't know what I'll find. I'm almost cutting across Kunstro Garden. It's on my right side. You may not be able to see it, but then for this particular video, is just capturing the left side of it. Something else I have to mention, or rather emphasize on, I think I had earlier on mentioned in other previous videos about the efficiency of transportation in Stockholm, specifically the whole of Sweden. Now, there's something special called the SL card. You can see that tram right there in front is written SL. Basically, this is one way in which you can move around within Stockholm or outside Stockholm. So you can pay for a card, and within that card you have the opportunity to use the buses, you can use the trams, you can use the trains, you can use the pendeltogs, you can use the boats, as long as you pay. And it's actually very, very affordable. The reason why I say it's affordable is because in a month, for example, I usually spend around $100 US. In terms of Swedish krona, basically I spend 967 Swedish krona. That's around give it a thousand Swedish krona. And with that, you're able to use the buses, the trains, the boats, each and every transport system that is of your preference. But then when it comes to the taxis, of course you have to use the normal Uber, Bolts, or the local kind of taxis that are found in Stockholm. And the most common ones are mostly the Sverige or the Stockholm taxi, but those ones are a bit much more expensive. So there is a lot of efficiency in terms of transportation, to a point whereby you don't necessarily have to buy a car. Well, but in case you have a family, you have young kids, or maybe you are commuting maybe from one point to another, and maybe the distance is a bit too much, or is outside Stockholm and it's going to cost you a lot of money moving from one point to another, or you just want that luxury of comfort for yourself, that's when you can probably buy a car. But this is one country which really does not, how do you call it? It's not really a must for you to buy a car, because everything is efficient. When you look at the metro, it's super efficient. There's always a train coming in the next 2 minutes, 1 minute. So basically everything is on point. That's one. And also another thing, as a foreigner here, as a new person here coming from Kenya, the way everything operates here in terms of driving is totally different, the opposite. You find that in Kenya, back in my country, we drive on the left side, okay? And it's not just about driving on the left side. All the cars, or rather, let me say all the cars, have the steering wheel on the right side. So you find that when you come to Sweden, it's the opposite. You have to drive on the right side, and all the cars have the steering wheel on the left side. So you find that that can be a bit challenging. You may find it difficult to adjust, but if you're a fast learner, good enough. If you come from a country, maybe you're used to having the same kind of system, it will be easier for you. For example, if you're coming from Rwanda or Dubai, you may find it easier here because it applies the same concept, driving on the left side and having the steering wheel on the right side. Now, putting that aside, as a Kenyan person, it's very easy for you to be allowed to use your driving license for 1 year. After the 1 year, you can always get the one that is from Sweden. Putting that aside, I hope you enjoyed the video, and kindly make any suggestion of anything you may want to see.